Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi, managing attorney of the JQK immigration law firm, headquartered in Los Angeles, California, but helping people from across America and across the world come and live here with their loved ones or for employment and the like to live and to work in the United States through the immigration system. Now we're going to have a Q&A session to discuss immigration law. Take your general questions about it here. We're live on TikTok. Immigration lawyer John is the name. Monday through Friday, always live there, 5 p.m. Pacific. And on Tuesdays, we're on Instagram. JQK Law Firm is the name of the Instagram channel. Definitely check it out there. I have copies of approval notices and the like. But main thing is this recording is going to be on YouTube, where we have a lot more videos there, clips, and everything else you need to know about immigration law. Now, just as a reminder, this is just general education only. Please consult with an attorney to learn about your case. Things change all the time. I'm going to discuss one thing that changed overnight last night, and that's why it's so important to contact an immigration lawyer, as soon as possible about your case, and to just keep updated with one because things change rapidly. As a final thing, if you're watching us on YouTube, please click the like and subscribe button and the bell to get notifications of our videos and to support the channel. And with that, let's get it started. All right, thank you everyone for coming on board. We have people trickling in right now with their questions, and we're going to get into it in a second. Just one quick note, I saw the first question is about timelines. I can't help you with regards to how long things take. If you schedule a consultation, I can explain why, but I'm not going to go into timelines too much. But the first thing I want to talk about is the amended proclamation that our dear President, President Trump, issued last night. Today is June 30th, it was June 29th, when he issued the non-immigrant visa travel ban proclamation because of COVID-19 a week ago. The way they worded it made it sound and made it so that if you had an existing valid visa, regardless of what type of visa it was, that travel ban would not affect you. Well, they corrected that and said if you had an H, L, or J visa in that category that was live and valid, then it won't affect you. But if you had, for example, a B1, B2 tourist visa, just on the side have one of those, that does not make you exempt from the non-immigrant visa travel ban of June 24, 2020. So that's a quick update, and that's why it's so important to have a lawyer on hand, because they change these things on a whim, and I just happen to be keeping on top of it, and I saw this, and I wanted to make sure I bring it to your attention today. That's the unreliable nature of the U.S. immigration system, and that's just the way it is. So let's jump into questions. First question on Instagram, Gurpreet said, I got a reckless driving ticket, but my ticket got dismissed. Does it affect my citizenship? Probably not, but we need to know the facts. I mean, they could judge you, and if you made some admission in the record or if some facts were in that case, we got to know more about what exactly happened. Probably if you got dismissed, it's not a problem, but I can't just tell you on a case-specific basis it's okay without reviewing your background, reviewing the case, reviewing what happened in the ticket and the like. So consult with an immigration attorney in private for help on that. On TikTok, Alicia asked, can I bring my wife to USA with the green card? How long does it take? Well, you can start the process for your wife, but as travel bans get set right now, that could delay things. And that's what makes it really impossible to tell you how long it is, because these travel bans exist and we're not sure how long necessarily they're going to go. But if you're married, you have to start somewhere. So it doesn't really matter how long it takes. You just have to get the process started and to get it going. And that's the only way to do it. Mr. Depeche, I'm doing good. Thank you for joining us on Instagram. Unique asks, I'm on an F1, that's a student visa, where my visa is expiring in August, so want to know, can I enter 20 days prior to the expiration date? If you have a valid visa, a valid student visa, you could always use it to re-enter as long as you have a proper, status. So if you're going to school, or if your school is ending, then if it's ended, you can't travel and come back during that 30-day grace period. So you got to know more about your case, exactly what your travel is. I can't answer that question properly here, because also it depends on which countries you're visiting. So for example, if you go and visit France, you won't be able to come back in. It's not just how long your visa is valid for. It depends on your DS20, is it DS20, is that what they call it? The I-20, or is it I-20? That is your documentation with the school that says what you're doing in school, all that kind of stuff. So definitely consult with an attorney. There's no exact answer to this question, because there's too many little pieces of facts that I would need to know to be able to guide you and provide guidance on. That's why I can't do case-specific advice, because there's just too many missing pieces here that I can't answer. All right, Prash asks, I did get approved. I got an approval letter, you're saying, for I-765. That's a work permit. So how long does it take for me to get the AD card? however long the post office takes to deliver it. Sometimes they lose it, so just hopefully sooner rather than later. Bio, thank you for sharing. If you haven't already, please join us on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John. Follow us. There's a link at the top of my profile page on TikTok where it gives access and guidance and the links to my reviews on Yelp, my website, the newsletter, so you get updated information from the immigration system and a lot more. And if you haven't joined us on Instagram, that's a great place to follow a lot of the videos, a lot of the clips, a lot of the urgent information I try to post there. And I have, copies of my approvals that have timelines on them, because people's favorite question is how long do these take? And from my approvals, you'll get an idea of how long things are taking for these various cases. So let's go back to TikTok and check out what kind of questions we have. Prosh follows up. And also ready to schedule for interviews. So how long should I wait for interview date? You just wait, and whenever they call you, they'll call you. All right. Hi, Eugench. Let's see. 007 Chef asks, any suggestions on uploading documents to them? Seems very difficult. I assume you're talking about the National Visa Center. That's where you upload documents to. I don't upload documents to USCIS. I don't believe in using the online system yet. Too many issues I found with it. But if you're going to upload documents to the National Visa Center, it is difficult. There's all sorts of glitches to that system. I did a video on this. You can watch it on YouTube. But try using a different, instead of Chrome, use Mozilla or one of those other Safari, other systems for accessing the internet and see what happens. Hi, Nazani. Okay, next question from Goli. What kind of question do they ask if or when my husband goes in the interview? Well, it depends on what the interview is. I'm guessing it's a marriage kind of interview. If you're in the United States, you both go together and they talk about your marriage history, your relationship history. But a big part of it is just going through your background. They ask a lot of questions like, have you killed someone? Have you done crime? Stuff like that. And just really to get to know you, to see if there's a reason why you can't come to the United States. It varies a lot depending on who the officer is asking this kind of question and your background. So each case has its own set of red flags. So I have to know what's going on in your case to see what most likely will happen with you. But, there's a biographical portion. They want to make sure that, your name and date of birth are correct, for example. They don't want to have errors there. They ask a set of questions about security and immigration stuff. If you had violations in the past, they may get into relationship history. They may get into financial situation, finances and stuff like that. That's the general thing, but they could ask anything they want. So you have to see. Hi, Alicia. Okay, let's see. Ali Sheikh on TikTok asks, can I bring my wife to USA with the green card? How long is it going to take? I already answered that question. Goalie says, oh, sorry, I forgot to say hi. Oh, hi, good to see you, Goalie. Kentucky says, what is a fair price to pay a lawyer to do a K-1 visa? I don't know. Whatever, just call around different places and get a sense of what is fair. There's no fair price. It is what it is. What's a fair price for a car? Some cars are more expensive, some are less. It's in the eye of the beholder. User 817 R2 visa, one from California. I don't know, it's not a question you're asking, but I don't know. User 87 says, please answer, I don't know, R2 visa, one from US California. That doesn't make any sense, your question, so I'll rephrase that. I don't do R, so I'm not a good source for that kind of answer. Goldie asks, hi there, I have a question. So what kind of question will they ask? Okay, answer that. Gurpreet, how you doing? I'm doing good. Rohit says, I-61 waiver, how keen will it take? I think how long it'll take, maybe 6 months. Go to uscis.gov. There's a processing timeline page that they have there. Put the form type and check on the different service centers. That'll give you an idea, but it could be shorter, it could be longer. Timeline questions aren't something I can answer. Let's see. Arslan says, are they doing interviews for N400 in San Diego? Is there a backlog for N400? So N400 is the form for citizenship, the application for naturalization. San Diego has, I think, begun opening up interviews and so I don't know how long it's going to take. Are they doing it? Yes, I think they're doing it. I think all USCIS offices, maybe except for San Francisco and Newark or something that are still shut down due to coronavirus completely. They're doing interviews for N400. I think even San Francisco's opened up. But is there a backlog? Well, USCIS had been shut down for 3 or 4 months for doing interviews, not for processing cases. So yeah, there's some sort of backlog. Now, how long is it going to take? I don't know, but you just be patient. They'll call you when they call you. Sarmley says, thank you as well. Goldie says, because we lived together for 2 months only. Goldie's follow up with their question about a marriage case and the interview there. We really just got to see the facts of your case, and this is so case specific. We got to see what's going on in your life. Just living together 2 months is not necessarily a reason to be a problem, but it just depends on the facts and how you guys come off and all these kind of different things. There's more to it than just living together, although that's a key, important, pivotal part of it. But consult with an immigration in private and go over your relationship history, see, and just prepare for it. Ali Sheikh asks, how can I prove my marriage is real if we married online through video call? Well, you have to be together in one place for that marriage to be valid. So it's very important to note that the U.S. does not accept what's called proxy marriages. So when you get married, if you're not physically together at the same time, the U.S. will not accept that as a marriage and will deny your case. So you need to see each other. Now that you are married by video, you need to physically see each other before you could use that for the purposes of applying for a marriage green card. And then, even if you did the video, marriage by video, I mean, you should have seen each other once. You should have had a relationship develop. You have communication records. You have gifts you may have sent each other. Your families may have met. They took photos. There's a lot going on there. So you really need to talk with an immigration lawyer in private to see what's going on and what we can do to show that your relationship is not fake. It's not intended for getting a green card. It's a real relationship. Unique follows up on my visa expire in August. I don't know, Unique, you need to definitely schedule a consultation with an attorney to see what's going on with your case. I just need more facts, as I mentioned earlier. Ali Sheikh asks, how can I prove my marriage is real? Okay, we asked and answered. Sushpadas asks, can a person file divorce in a conditional permanent resident if the person is a victim of divorce violence? Can a person file for divorce? Yeah, I mean, this is very case specific, but you can file for divorce. It's up to you if you want to file for divorce. And if you have a conditional green card, it's possible to keep it, but it's a complex case. You got to request a waiver of the joint filing requirement of the conditional green card, the form I-751. And so it's possible if there is abuse to get that conditions removed and get the full 10-year green card, but there's a lot more to it. We got to show that there was abuse and the relationship was real as well. I'll argue that as well. So I would say just consult with an attorney in private to go through it. It is possible to keep the green card and get divorced, but the timing of it is important, and a lot of the documentation, explanation, documents, evidence, all that stuff is needed to do a good job to avoid any problems. So this is something that should be discussed in private to plan it out and strategize. Shirsh asks, I-751 have extension letter for 18 months, but plan to travel abroad, but will expire on February. What should I do? Okay, let me break down what's going on in this question first. So when you do file for removal of conditions, this is when you have a 2-year green card because you got your green card based on marriage, and after 2 years, you have to file again to show the relationship was real. So when you file for removal of conditions, you get a 10-year permanent green card. The applications process is taking an extended amount of time. So when you do file it, your green card is expired by that point, you'll get a receipt notice in the mail. And that receipt notice will act as an 18-month extension on the green card. So in this case, it seems that that extension letter is nearing its expiration, but this person is going to be traveling and outside the country at that time. So it creates an issue. Like, what are you going to do, Well, in the normal circumstances, you could go and you can still do this now. Contact USCIS, call the 1-800 number. Let them know you need an extension stamp in your passport, an extension of your green card, because you're not going to be here while after the expiration of the receipt notice that gives the extension. So contact them so you get an extension to cover you for that time. It really depends on timelines, but I would not recommend, unless you have a really strong case, you did it well, I would not recommend being outside the country when your case is being close to getting a decision, because if it's denied, it's going to be a heck of a problem getting back and fixing it. So unless it's a real urgent reason, just stay in the United States, but you could contact USCIS to try to get that extension stamp in your passport so that, or green card stamp in your passport, hold you over while you're outside. All right, we have a question on Instagram. Elisha asks, sir, how can I contact you for my case? I have a pending asylum case. Well, I already told you, I responded on Instagram. If anyone wants to schedule a consultation, you have to email me. My email is info@jqqlaw.com. And in that email, briefly describe the immigration issue that you have. And so I know what's going on, what the reason is that you want to have a consultation. And that helps me because I don't handle every type of immigration case. I only handle some types of cases. So it's not something I'm handling. I'll say, would you like me to connect you with one of my colleagues? And if you say yes, I'll forward your email to them. If it's something I handle, we schedule a consultation. There is a fee for the consultation, varies depending on the case type and how much time is needed for that consultation. And in response to your email, I will let you know. But the main thing is to email me, briefly describe what the situation is so I have an idea what you need, and we could take it from there. And that's that. But thank you for your question, Alicia. All right, let's go back to TikTok and see what kind of questions. Raz says, tell some things about I-360. Well, I-360 is a catch-all form that covers a lot of different immigrant visa categories, green card categories. I do not accept cases that I-360 is not something I handle, so I wouldn't be a good resource on that. So, you know, I have a colleague, her name is Mumita Rahman. She has a TikTok channel called Immigration Lawyer Mumita, M-O-U-M-I-T-A, and she does handle I-360 cases, and so I would refer you to her. But one example of an I-360 case that's going to be popping up is if someone is married to a U.S. citizen and they're starting their green card case and hasn't finished, or more likely they're married but they haven't started their green card case, and the U.S. citizen spouse passes away and dies, you could use a file in I-360 to keep that case alive. It's also used, I think, for VAWA cases. It's such a mix of different kinds of cases. It really depends on your situation. I rarely do them. I just have one case where, unfortunately, the U.S. citizen spouse is going to pass away soon, has a really bad form of cancer. And so eventually, we inevitably have to file that petition when it does happen. I'm trying to get them to, you know, file the other case before we need to do that. It doesn't make much of a difference, but they're just busy with life and the sad issues that you know, come about because of the situation. But that's the general points about the I-360. You're welcome, Alicia. Thanks for the question. All right, Ali Sheikh asks, what is your routine to come live on TikTok? TikTok days and timing. What is my routine? Well, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, but I'm here Monday through Friday on TikTok, 5 p.m. Pacific to 5:30. As long as you have good questions and the flow is good, I'm going to keep doing it. And as long as people don't keep asking me how long cases take, because that does frustrate me after like 1,000 times of having to answer that. But and I record this, put it on YouTube, and that's that. Mondays, Facebook, Tuesdays also on Instagram. I have a second camera that you can't see on TikTok that I'm recording. There's also a third camera that's putting this on YouTube, and I take clips of that. I'm gonna have a lot more material on YouTube, so that's a place to go. I'm not posting regularly on TikTok, those 1-minute things TikTok will do. I might start that again, but I get a good audience of almost 12,000 people on there. It's pretty fun doing it. But I prefer having a communication that's back and forth rather than getting a phone and just talking to myself like this and then recording it. I don't really enjoy that. So maybe I'll get back into it. I have a team now helping me edit these videos, and if they're helping me out, it'll make me more inclined to do it. That's a little bit behind the scenes kind of questions for our fans on TikTok, but thank you for your question. Official Rod says, is case I-130 for spouse to be affected on a new ban? I-130 will be affected if you're a green card holder. So if you're a U.S. citizen applying for a foreign spouse, then no, that won't happen. But if you're a green card holder, it will. Now on Instagram, Ramiro Lopez, or Lopez Ramiro, that's his name. I haven't heard from you in a while. I hope you're doing good. I hope your family's doing good. Definitely email me. I haven't talked in a while. But if you're the Ramiro Lopez, I recall from let's say, I'm BJ, Southwest California, Southern California, South of California, please email me. I think it's been a year or two since we got your regular email. Let me double check if you're the Lopez Ramiro I'm thinking about. Let's see. Let me know. Is it, I don't want to go too much detail about you in public, but definitely send me an email. I think I haven't heard from you in a while. Awesome. Good to hear from you. I remember you. All right, so let's go back to your questions. Sunny asks, I filed a green card through asylum case, but when I check online, it shows that in employment-based. Well, if you file a green card, it doesn't really usually, I'm not sure, check the number. It doesn't make any sense. If you're really worried about it, contact USCIS and say this doesn't make any sense, but I have to see it for myself. You would have got a receipt. And that receipt notice for the I-485, that's the green card application, specifies under which category you're filing for a green card. So you just look at that and that may help you because especially for asylum-based green card, I think it's INA 243 or something like that, or instead of being 245I based on employment bubble. I don't want to go to technical, sorry. But I got to see the receipt to see what the situation is, and I could guide you there. But you have to schedule a consultation, so maybe just call USCIS and check with them. Sonny says, what does that mean? I just got into that. Okay, Mansa says, does I-130, okay. Could I-130 affected by petition work history? So you're asking, can an I-130 petition for alien relative get affected by the petitioner's work history? Yes, it can, because there's an affidavit support section where you say the petitioner is going to financially support you. It can have effect. There's ways around it. Maybe a joint sponsor, maybe if you got a lot of money and stuff, but it really depends on the case. Ramiro says, hi, happy, I already got my resident card in January. So, oh, wonderful. Why don't you let me know? Congratulations. Many years Ramiro was working on that. I'm so happy that it worked out. And, you know, I know it's a lot of stress until it happened, but thank God it worked out. Congratulations. I'm really happy to hear that. Okay, so let's see. Guli asks, thanks a lot for your answer. It means a lot for what you're doing. I thank you. I appreciate that, Guli. It's very nice of you. And thanks for coming on the show. Neo Maxim says, what if you filed divorce during your removal conditions application process? Well, that's a big issue. Now, it's doable, but it's complicated enough. I'm going to do a separate long video about this, but if you're going to get a divorce while your removal of condition case is pending, 100% you have to schedule a consultation with a lawyer, at least a couple of lawyers, and talk to them, see their experience with the situation, because there's additional hoops you have to jump through to avoid getting a denial. It gets complicated. It's doable, but it gets complicated. So I would say consult with an attorney. That's the best way to do it in private. And 555 asks, I'm a green card holder, applied for unemployment. Will it affect my husband's petition? Well, I've done many videos on this particular question. You have to go to YouTube and catch them, but the short of it is, at the end of the day, for your husband's petition, you got to file an affidavit of support, which shows you're making money or you have money, and if you're getting unemployment, that means you're not working. And so that could be a problem. You really need to check that out with an attorney and see what's going on. Safi asks, I'm taking unemployment, any effects? We just answered that question a moment ago. Kyra asks, waiting for marriage interview. Yeah, you just have to wait. They're not doing marriage interviews either at the embassy or at USCIS right now. So you guys got to be patient for that to come along. Zany asks, I have a temporary green card holder, but baby is a citizen. Should I apply for citizenship? I have a temporary green card holder. Well, if you have a temporary green card, you need to first file for a permanent green card. But baby is citizen. Should I apply for citizenship? The baby doesn't really come into play here. I'm not sure what your question is. That's something you probably should contact attorney in private. The question's got a lot of things that don't come together. Kara asks, I believe for military, there's something called parole in place that can be used for spouse. Yes, there is. Someone asked about this yesterday, and we recorded it. I'm going to make a clip that breaks down what my talk was, but parole in place is a good thing. If you entered the U.S. without permission and you're a certain immediate type relative of an active duty military person, you could potentially cure the fact that you entered without permission by getting something called parole and then being able to file for adjustment status. And that avoids you having to be go a waiver, go to the embassy and stuff like that. And the follow-up question Kay asked is, do they have to be active military? I think they do have to double check. I've only dealt with the situation as active duty, but I think you do. But I just have to double check. If you type in parole in place, you go to USCIS.gov. It does break it down right there, so you can do your own research as well. Sweat asks, if I apply for my husband for green card, how long does it take? I don't know. Every case is different. M12 asks, I have applied for spousal visa in March for my husband. How long does that take these days? It just takes the time it takes. You got to be patient. Streak asks, what about for visitors when they have to come in USA? The question doesn't make sense. When they have to come, they can come whenever they want. As long as the visitor's visa is valid, they just come. And it's not a when you have to come. As long as the visa is valid, that's when you could come. And that's that. So we had a lot of good questions. Thank you for everyone joining. We only got a few minutes left. If you have some last questions, throw them out there. We'll get to those. But as a reminder, my email is info@jqqlaw.com, and that's the best way to contact me to schedule a consultation. If you communicate with me on Instagram, you can get an auto response that says email me. So just go straight to the source, go to the email, and say, apply for describe what your immigration issue is. Ramiro says, my wife got her photo and fingerprints in March before they closed in COVID. Oh, that's good. That's good. So get that process started. I'm glad to hear that. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Sweat, you're welcome too. Thank you. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so this travel ban situation is constantly moving. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't get down sooner. A little bit follows up, but she already got a social security number. That's good. I'm glad to hear that's working out. That's perfect. Everything's coming together. Let's see what else is going on in the immigration world. There's so much going on. When I turn on the lights and the camera here, I kind of forget. It's kind of my escape from all, but it's usually not good news. But things are getting tougher. Things are getting more complicated. Even for me, I got to constantly study to see how we deal with these problems and set it. One example where I'm having a lot of problems with the Department of State is fiancé visas. So I have clients who have fiancé visa cases going. The fiancé visa, the K-1 visa, is not subject to any of the travel bans. Well, at least not the non-immigrant visa or the immigrant visa travel ban. It may be subject to the COVID-19 travel bans for Europe and Iran or Brazil, that kind of stuff. But that's its own issue. But some embassies are saying, no, we're not doing K-1 visas because it's subject to the immigrant visa travel ban. Well, the K-1 is a non-immigrant visa, so it doesn't apply. And so now we're communicating with the embassies. We're trying to tell them, hey, it's not right. Let me educate you on what's going on, which is not the thing you want to do to bureaucracy to help educate them. That's not the funnest thing to do. They might not like it, but that's a reality. So there's always some issues, even for things that are really obvious and open and shut. We got to fight it. KK follows up, can DACA help in any way when applying for adjustment of status? DACA itself, no, it does in any way. I mean, any way. So when you file for adjustment of status, is a new form for the public charge rule called Form I-944, Declaration of Self-Sufficiency or Affidavit of Self-Sufficiency, something like that. And in it, if you have DACA and you have a work permit and you're making money, yeah, that helps to show you can financially support yourself. And you have a social security number too, which makes it easier to get a credit report as well. Now, if you don't have a job, you have bad credit, it doesn't make a difference. The part of DACA that helps for adjustment of status is if you didn't enter lawfully, you had gotten DACA, then you got a thing called advanced parole. That would have permitted you to travel and then come back to the United States and then apply for adjustment of status. So your question is way too broad to be able to specify. There's a lot of things we could talk about that just speculating and just talking about open-ended stuff. If you really have a specific question, just email my office and we can talk about it in private. We'll have a much more specific question because it's hard to answer this without knowing all the facts situation. I can't answer hypothetical questions. You know, even in law school and in the courts, you're not allowed to really ask hypothetical questions because anything is possible. So it's really hard to answer those kind of questions. Sam says, how long does it wait for citizenship? I don't know. Check out uscis.gov and you'll say what your local field office estimate of time is. Hi, Mandy. Hi to you. Mello asks, can you wake me up? I'm tired. Yeah, no, go back to sleep. We just go back to sleep. We don't need you here. Abbas says, thanks for your video, sir. My parents have a B1, B2 visa. Can they visit during the ban with a B1, B2 or no? Generally, they can visit, but it really depends on if they're in one of the countries or have visited one of the countries subject to the travel ban. This could be, European countries, UK, Ireland, Iran, Brazil, China. And it could be other reasons that could block them from being able to enter the United States at the B1, B2. I really have to know their specific case to give general guidance. But at the end of the day, it's up to the airlines, it's up to the CBP, Customs and Border Inspection at the airport, at the port of entry. So there's just a lot of things going on. If they're coming from a land border, from Mexico, they won't let them in, for example. There's a lot of nuances to these kind of questions that I have to know. Abba says no, Pakistan. So yeah, we got to see what's going on. Just me ask, any idea when Juarez will be doing interviews? So Juarez is just whenever the situation with the coronavirus in Mexico gets better, and that'll be it. So you might know about that before I do. Abba says, okay, got you, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you, you're welcome. Thank you for your question, though. But it's just, hard to answer these kind of questions. There's just too many moving parts. And, I have cases where one day it's fine. I wake up in the morning, they change the rules, and it's not fine anymore. So and that's one of the important reasons I have a lawyer. So if I hear about this, I just contact you and say, hey, listen, that's the situation. Mello follows up, during time of war that USA is in, that country's question is really badly written. During time of war that USA is in, that country's citizens, immigrants to USA. I think you're saying if they're at war with a country, can people of those countries immigrate to the United States? They can unless they block it. I don't know what to tell you. So right now it's happening. It is what it is. Lopez follows up, Ramirez follows up. It can be possible to get a work permit before pictures and fingerprint, how that works. And we haven't done the medical examiner, how does that work? Well, they're going to request the medical exam, so you should have probably submitted that with the application. But okay, that's neither here nor there. Historically, no, you have to get a work permit, you have to do the biometrics, the fingerprinting and the photo. They may have suspended that requirement for some cases because of the coronavirus. I don't know, but there's a chance they'll just approve your case. I got to know more if this is a spousal case or if it's a parent of a U.S. citizen case, and just that kind of stuff to see what's going on. But the real answer is got to wait and see how they want to deal with it with your case. All right, so we only got a minute left. So if there's one last question, let me know. Isaac says, can we file for marriage green card now? Yes, we can. This is a really important question, actually. It's been a major issue. USCIS announced that its revenues, and USCIS gets all of its money. USCIS is the immigration department in the United States. It gets all its money from fees. So when you apply for a green card case, you're paying a bunch of money to these people, and they make their money based on fees. They said since COVID-19 happened, their fees, their income has dropped by 50%. And so they're going bankrupt, they need a bailout. But that's so important because that just, with the light bulb that goes up my head is, the reason why their fees have gone down 50% is because most people mistakenly, and I get this question every day because I'm doing TikTok Live, YouTube Live every day, Instagram every day. People think that you cannot submit applications to USCIS. They think it's shut down, but it's not. And what that has happened is this, at least what USCIS claims, I think they blew the money and they're making excuses, but they're saying that the money is not coming in because people are not submitting petitions, and so they're going bankrupt. And that really, the light bulb goes up and says, oh no, people think, and I see this every day too, people think that you can't submit applications because USCIS closed. Well, it's not. They're just not doing in-person interviews because they're afraid their officers are going to get sick, and that's an honest, a worry to have. And a lot of cities and states have shut down, so they can't even open up anyway. So it's really important to know that they are accepting cases. You should consult with a lawyer just to be on top of it, but it's not the case where you can't submit your case. You could submit it. Now, what's going to happen after you submit it, how long it takes, when an interview happens, what's going to the embassy, those are all up in the air, but at least get your place in line. Get the process started. Why not? That's the way to go. And but that's the issue. It seems like according to USCIS, so many people have not applied because they're probably thinking, I'm assuming they're thinking USCIS closed, that they took a financial hit. So that's it for TikTok. One last question for Instagram. Hero asks, hello, I have a question. My dad is filing N600. That's when you're a citizen and you want to get a piece of paper that says you're a citizen. For my brother, he's going to be 17 October. Do we need to sign that from my dad or my brother? Well, usually application, unless you're under 14, the actual applicant has to sign the paperwork. I can't recall exactly in the N600. It's something I would have to work out. Now you contacted me about this as well. That's something I have to look up. But usually an applicant, the person requesting the benefit, has to sign it if they're above 14. But I can't say I have 100% certainty. That's something I have to look into. I haven't done an N600 in that scenario for a while. I just got to look it up. But if you schedule a consultation or call USCIS, maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't really rely on calling USCIS. I'm not reliable for that kind of information. But yeah, just call around different lawyers. If you want to schedule a time, my consultation in my office, let me know. And that's that. Well, thanks again for everyone who joined today. We'll be back again here. TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, 5 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, Wednesday. And Wednesdays are YouTube Live. So all my friends on Instagram, join the YouTube page. I'll be here live on YouTube. And if you haven't already joined TikTok, follow me on Immigration Lawyer John. And the TikTok people, follow me on Instagram, and the YouTube people as well. Let's get it all in because I have different pieces of information on all of them that can help you if you're interested in immigration law. Thanks again, everyone. Be safe and God bless. Till tomorrow. Bye-bye.